Hey Crystal, good progress here. I like this background, but you might want to do a little bit more with it. I mean, you can add some of your own elements to this background. It looks a little unfinished because it's got so much negative space. Um, you know, Again, I know I've showed you these so many times, but if you kind of look at the ones of the computer backgrounds, you can see, and it still allows a caricature to stand out. I'm not saying to use that one. Um, you know, in something like this, it's just got a little bit more to it. So you might want to look at something with a really small pattern, because if you give it too much, it won't let the caricature stand out. So, or you could add a couple of these. And another area that is going to be really important too is with the text. This font doesn't really read anything to do with the computer, so you might want to go to DaFont, and under these techno fonts here, there's so many cool fonts that look more like they go with a computer, right? There's 32 pages of these. There's all these LCD fonts that, again, you don't want to get too fancy, but something that really goes more with, more with the subject matter. It says it. I mean, I'm pretty sure it says it in the directions and stuff too. The next thing, and I'm going to turn your background off, is that, well, actually, I'm going to keep it on. There's a lot of issues with the masks that need to be taken care of. See all this kind of white glowy stuff? So it needs to be cleaned up a little bit. You have to really watch where these connect right here, because this right here, it just looks pretty sloppy, but it also just doesn't look refined enough. So you just go through and kind of clean up some of the areas. I would suggest adding, since you've got this monitor that you can see, this is definitely the bigger side. So I would go to, where's the top part of that? Oh, see, you have them. Yeah, that's too bad. I would separate these, and then I would make, the ones that are in front look a little bit bigger, because then it's going to look like it's coming forward. And you have a shadow, but it's not really visible. So I would go and look at the shadow up here and just make it really darker, because it's just really hard to see when it's so light, and it doesn't, so it doesn't really add anything if you can't see it. And it just needs a little bit more with the, with the background, and that, that's the major suggestion. I'm gonna, you could add a little something to the computer screen, not like a happy face or anything cartoony. And I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger, just because I think that it's pretty cool. So you don't want it to be, you want it to, take up a good amount of the space. So yeah, make this darker and drag it down, but just look on Google a little bit more, and you could put, and if you moved it down to like this, you could put the text up in here too. These are a lot of these are really overused and really corny, so I would not use something like that. But if you could use something that was somewhat, that you got, it looks like, yeah, this looks like something like almost what you have now. It just has to be something that's really, that has a lot of negative space that allows the character, nothing like this. Yeah, I'm not seeing really any good ones with this keyword search. So yeah, so you might just want to think about either making one, or, you can put a couple different images together and do some blend modes on them. I would just add a little bit more. I mean, this one here, let me find that other one. Something like this would work. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Your design of having that little light shard in there is a good idea, but you just need a little bit more of it so it looks finished. And the type just needs more of a treatment. And again, a type treatment means that you're putting some layer styles, you're using different fonts, you're moving them around. So you just definitely want to just really work with it, and so it can really stand out. And again, if you separate this and make it look a little bit bigger, this will look like it's smaller. Let me see, I should probably, where's the other one? Move this down a little bit. So it just looks like it has a little bit more depth that way. And again, yeah, just make sure that you watch the way this connects. And I don't know what you could put in here, but even just a little something could work. You know, like I say, not a face or anything like that. Or you could leave it black too. Or you can. Or another thing you can do too is, I'll just show you quickly. So I'm just gonna, whoops. I'm just gonna select this really quick with this polygonal lasso and just this one filter. And I need to get it on this layer. And so I can copy it. Then I can move it to this layer and paste it. And then you could go and just make sure you change the color in here to something a little bit more interesting. I don't know. I'm just going to do this, but don't do it. Either of these are going to kind of look kind of funky. But then you can go in and you can go up into the filter pull down menu, and if you go to filter gallery at the top that you can't see, and you go into, to be able to see it first here, you go into this halftone pattern one, but you let me move it down. But you click line like it is here and play with the contrast. And what it does is it's going to make it look a little bit more like a TV, you know, or something. You know, it's or it gives it more of a technical, you know, just more of a technical look. And again, these colors are here because of those two colors I put, which I don't really like. You know, just or something like that, just a little something. There's other cool ones too, like if you pull this down to dot, it looks like a printing dot. I think the circle looks cool too. So again, and you know what it's going to do is, and I'm not saying to make it this bright either. You can lower the opacity, but it's just something that isn't going to give it a little bit, just a little bit more content. So it just has a little bit, you know, it's a little bit more interesting. Okay, so anyway, I've talked enough. I would definitely clean up some of the masks before you post in the Dropbox. I would do a little bit more work on the background and definitely something with the text before you submit on Sunday, because you don't want to lose points because you have to do the work on it anyway. Okay.